and gentlemen, welcome to Meetme360 podcast. Meetme360 is a high-class dating experience which deals with creating compatible matches, helping our clients grow in the process of mate selection. I'm your host, Alexander Barry Camp, and we're going to have a phenomenal session this time. And right now, we have a guest, a special guest. We're going to introduce him shortly. But right now, we need better dating and relationships to be happening in Bahamas and the Caribbean because many of our dating relationships are shallow. But in this segment, we're going to be covering three topics. Number one, the best way to find a Valentine. Two, key essentials for great relationships. And three, how men can get better results in dating and relationships. Now, before we begin, we're going to introduce our guest, Mr.
James Brennen.
James Brennen. Thank you so much for being on the Meetme360 podcast, man. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. So, man, number one, I recently put it out an ad, right? And I was like, man, I want to get some people on my podcast. And I have some people who signed up or opt in. But I mean, when you saw that particular video, what came across your mind?
Boy, to be honest with you, like I always like this topic. You know what I mean? Because I kind of share the same views that you share on, whereas dating shouldn't be so shallow in Nassau, and a lot of people, they need this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? They need to see that there are different ways to go about like securing love, securing partnership, and these things in Nassau. So I just had to jump on it. I was like, this is my niche, you know.
Man, first of all, I'd like to thank you so much for literally like just having that type of energy, that type of passion, and that type of connectivity to be a part of a conversation like this. Because man, recent relationships are failing all around, and also too, a lot of men and women are unsatisfied because they're not going about relationships in a very how can I say it, a holistic way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, tell them about yourself, introduce yourself, anything you got going on for yourself, let the people know, man.
Well, currently I'm a tattoo artist, entrepreneur guy. I got two businesses that I run. 8 years married. I do a lot of traveling. I love to see the world. I love to introduce myself to new cultures, new ways of thinking, and new ways of just viewing the world and seeing different art forms and different way people interact with each other, you know. So yeah, so I try to verse myself. I'm a sociology by trade. I studied from spirituality to commerce and everything in between. So yeah.
Man, you're a dynamic person to be on the show, man. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
I know when you travel, you get to see how different ways of life are amongst different cultures and different people. Like, what is one of the unique things you find yourself seeing in relationships? Do you see the same thing happening in every culture in relationships, or is it a bit different based upon where you go?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. The way we approach relationships today, especially here in this little Nassau, it's like a hyperlink online. You know what I mean? It's like people expect to just be click and done. You know what I mean? Whereas a lot of cultures, even with technology being so advanced, within a lot of cultures, it's still like the courting phases. It's still like butterflies, and having to seek some type of advice from whether it be your peers or your parents. And it's still a natural, purposeful type of journey with different cultures. So I've seen a lot of different ways they go about engaging in a relationship, and it's just that now we follow, I guess, the wrong patterns of just click and go. You know what I mean? It's no more drawn out processes. It's see it, want it, got it, and it's like what they call it's like snatch and grab. It's nothing that they want to keep. Everything is just everything. Most things are off aesthetic. None of it is deep, heartfelt, soul felt, any of that.
I mean, that's quite true. But I mean, I believe that with the invention of social media,
Mm-hmm.
I believe it has created what we call a hasteful way of approach.
Most
Now we can order, like before, when we was little kids, when we wanted had a birthday party, wanted Domino's, we used to wait like 35 minutes to get it. Now we go to the app, we click that 5-6 minutes,
Yeah,
we're there.
and we
We got Craven and all those things. Hey, not sponsored by Craven, but Craven, if you want come on, we welcome the brand deals, man. But it's like everything is instant gratification. And for a fact that we know when you first was dating a woman that you will see her every now and again, you probably talk on the landline phone for hours. Like, man, I can't believe I used to do that like 4 hours. But now it's like because the access of the market is digital, it makes things where that one attention of a person is no longer valued compared to a myriad of attentions, and so much like what they call it. I think they call it shiny object syndrome. It's like, oh, this thing looks nice, and then it's like, oh, okay, and then something else appears. Oh, hey, this thing looks nice. So, what do you think is happening with the people, like their minds, and from males' perspective and females' perspective? What do you think is happening with us as a people?
catch and release. It's catch and release. That's what I was going for. It's catch and release. Meaning, it's like sports fishing. Is what it's turned into because of the availability that everybody has to the internet and different things. So like just right there in your face. It's just I'm gonna try it. I don't really have any purpose for it, and I'm gonna just let it slide, and then it's just catch and release. It's too much of it.
Sports fishing.
Sports fishing.
All right. So, people, when we think about relationships, right? Look around you and look at around you and see who do you think or who do you see has had successful relationships. Was it our grandparents? We know a lot of things would be happening back then. Some grandpas had like what 3 households, but grandma still stayed, and I don't know what I mean. But the thing is, in this day and time, I guess the loyalty or the ability to be the stickability has went down due to the fact that there's more opportunities. Now, as a man, a young man, right? When I go places, I get to meet many different people, women, and it's like many times I can tell you this when I present myself, it's like women are more inclined to the way a man dress and so forth, like the flashy stuff.
Mhm.
And I find a lot of women tend to come on to me like that. But I realized that many times in the past, before I really up my game of, even though I was a hardworking guy, before I up my game of dressing well and taking care of myself, women rarely pay attention in a sense. But do you think that it is a woman's, like, how do you think women see men? Like, do they see men as, okay, I need a man for providing, or he's the man who's going to lead me, or he just a means to an end on instruments?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's tough because it varies from woman to woman. But if I had to like generalize it, I think that they don't really see men.
I
And
agree.
see men because you have most women today, right? They get dressed and they go out looking to outdo other women.
Oh,
And they're getting all dolled up and they doing all of this for other women.
that's true.
Where I'm gonna get all dolled up and try find a decent man, but now it's like I'm gonna kill all these other bees out here. They hate to see me come in, and so they don't even see men.
That's true.
So it becomes like a rat race when you see a girl that you like and you go for that girl. Now you're not just only competing with other guys, you're competing with the girls.
That's true.
If these other women are not seeing you, she's not gonna see you.
Exactly.
It's kind of like that's what it is. They compete with each other, so they want the guy that the other girls are gonna want.
Boom. This brings us to what we call, I think it's a rule called the 80-20 rule. Like 80% of the guys are invisible to women. There's only a top 20% of men. And they talk about the high value man.
Mhm.
And they talk about the 6 feet tall, 6 pack, 6 figures,
Mhm.
things like that, But it's so funny is that as a man, if you are not like understanding the dating arena,
Mhm.
this whole social environment's a dating arena. It's all about SMV, we call sexual market value or social market value.
Mhm.
If you're not compared to compete, you are gonna get eat. This is warfare, especially in 2025, especially in the advent of social media. So, like you said, most guys aren't even being seen by women; they're invisible.
Mhm.
So, what do you think about many times, with social media, some guys be messaging girls. You hear girls always say, "Man, these guys always messaging me," and some guys will continue to message a girl 3 years, never got no motion or nothing, and he's still messaging. What do you think is going on with the guy? What do you think? What do you think about that?
With the guy,
Yeah,
sports fishing. You know what I mean? I mean, because okay, as a man, we okay with playing the long game. We are definitely okay with playing the long game. And what happens is it creeps into the mind of the female that this guy is somewhat desperate.
Definitely.
Yeah, this guy is like somewhat like just a loser, really. And that's what it comes off to her. But realistically, she's just, one of the fish swimming past his bait. He just keep throwing his bait out there.
That's true.
One day it's gonna hit. You see? So it just goes along with like what I was saying, sports fishing. I don't think necessarily you would simp yourself to a girl for so long before you just, throw in the towel. Unless she's like, you do see her personally, you know what I mean? And you just figure, hey, this is the best place to start a conversation with her because I don't want to really get shut down in public.
Right.
She sees me, so I know she knows who I am, so maybe she'll respond.
Right.
But it could be a lot going on with that guy. He could maybe just have a low self-esteem.
I agree.
But
Okay.
I tend to go with more of the sports fishing
Sports fishing.
idea.
Okay. All right. So, question, right? With that being said, do you think that based upon what's happening, you think online dating is more effective than in person? Because you got a culture of people called the pickup artists or the poor, right? Pickup artists.
Studied a book on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the name of the Neil
Strauss.
Strauss?
Yeah.
The game. Oh, gents, pick it up. You're gonna learn a lot. And then I studied the mystery method. Boy, listen. I remember back in the day, I used to watch some YouTube channels. Justin Wayne was a very unique one, a black guy.
Mhm.
It's very interesting, and some other guys. It's very interesting to see how they would talk about different ways men
Mhm.
present themselves, such as the peacock methods, like finding a way to stand out. Because if a woman don't see you, you don't exist, bro.
Mhm.
If you won't stand out some way where you get people attention, like, oh, that guy is,
Mhm.
then you already lose. You just blending in with the background.
I've actually developed methods
Oh,
from that Neil Strauss book.
wow,
Worked
that worked.
too effectively.
Wow, listen, bro, we got to get a book from you, man. Real talk, we got to get a book. I'll actually help you write a book. I'll co-write a book because I'm an author of 5 books.
Say that.
Yeah, man. So hey, let's make it. That's powerful, man. Because men need game. Because at the end of the day, many guys think that, hey, man, I'm gonna go and make a lot of money, become successful, but their phones dry, they have no motion. When in fact, the game is literally what is dictates it. Because we always heard about the story where there's the wealthy, successful man has a woman, and then next you know, the woman is sleeping with the poor boy. What's that all about?
Well, that in itself is, boy, that in itself is something wrong with her psyche. She got with that rich guy off of the aesthetics. She got off of just approval from, like I said, the other women.
Wow.
Other women want. So she's gonna grab a hold of that to become, the envy of everybody's eyes.
Wow.
When in reality, the poor boy, he is this charismatic, charming, down to earth, makes her laugh, pays attention to the small things, and that's why those kind of things happen. Because the rich guy, he leads with his money. He doesn't necessarily enrich her emotionally, spiritually. He can't form a connection with her because he doesn't have the time to invest in her wholly. He could definitely support her financially, yeah.
Definitely.
But I think a woman needs way more than just financial support.
Wow. I agree, man. I agree, man. Listen, bro, you are an expert. Honestly, listen, from your background and understanding sociology and being able to study those books, it goes to show that you are a man of development, meaning that you wanted to seek ways to become the best man you could be.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell everyone, especially man, your job is to be the best man you could be. Why? Because if you are not, you're not going to get the best of opportunities.
Definitely.
You have to put yourself in A+ mode. You got to be an A+ guy, man. So find a way to do that. But anyway, we can help you at Superman Alpha, but we'll talk about that later. But now, switching gears, so I'm so delightful to have that conversation so far. Things have been smooth sailing. We got some questions from some messages from some people going to be answering those questions shortly. But the main topic of the day is the best way to find Valentine. Because, right now, the 14th is approaching. Some people are single. They don't have Valentine. Give the guys and the girls or the ladies and the gentlemen a way to go about finding a Valentine.
The way to go about finding a Valentine. Don't! That's all I gotta say. I'm just messing. But, wow, finding a Valentine. It's so... Romance is like, it's really dwindling now. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of thought put into a lot of things that we do nowadays as far as romance is concerned. And when you're trying to find a Valentine, first of all, this should be a person who you feel like this is for them to have their attention would mean the world. You know what I mean? Like it can't just be to where you wanna
Fill a void.
acquire something because it's Valentine and I need something this Valentine's coming. No, because that never was what it was about. I don't know if you're familiar with the story of.
I've heard about some of the guy who got locked in prison. Did he die?
Yeah, it was like
Okay, oh, sorry.
it was sad, but it was lovely, and that's what love is. Love is everything. It's sad, it hurts, but
Definitely.
with the story of Saint Valentine, it was forbidden love. You know what I mean? It was some medieval time where soldiers were not allowed to marry
Wow.
because if they were married, they were unable to go out to war. And Saint Valentine defied those laws and married his love and was thrown in jail.
Wow.
So he would be writing her letters every other day, until he was eventually put to death. And his last letter that he would have written to her would have been signed "Your Valentine," and
Oh, wow.
that's where Valentine's, all the love lettering and all that stuff really was developed. It was a deep, deep love. It was this person, like, you know what, I would get put to death for you. I would get thrown in jail for you. So if you don't have that type of deep conviction for the person you're asking to be a Valentine, then it's gonna be hard for you to think of natural ways to get this person. And like
Wow.
I say, a lot of the romance has been taken out of it because guess what? Today we make money. And we've already discovered ways to these women's hearts. And a guy can go out, spend $700, $800 and get like the biggest thing. And he think like, okay, that's enough to get her to be my Valentine. And that's it. It's just that day. After that day, it's like nothing left. So I feel like the best way to secure a Valentine is naturally. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be super expensive and over the top. You don't have to make her the wow of the office. You don't necessarily have to do these things. As long as you could establish a deep connection and with this person, because you know and love this person. So as long as you could establish this connection, you're going to know the right ways to move rather than just trying to impress this person.
Wow. Man, listen, I'm so thankful for you coming on to the show because number one, you gave us an insight. And for those who didn't know, he talked about the history of where Valentine came from. Yeah, that's a poetry, man. That's poetry.
Mhm.
But also too, like you say, acquire it naturally and instead of being a try hard thing, because a lot of guys they probably go try hard and then they feel like they ain't appreciated or so that is a very hard reckoning thing, especially guys. A lot of guys gonna be working hard, trying to make this money to go impress a girl. Please, guys, don't go robbing because we've seen it where around that time guys try to find any means necessary because they're under pressure.
Hey,
Pressure toll.
that's what you do. See, and even with that, I don't condone violence in any criminal activities, but if that's what it is, then that's what it is.
That's true loving.
Yeah, because he broke the law. He broke the law for this woman that he loved. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And that's what love is.
Right.
Love is beyond all boundaries.
I agree.
If it's forced, then it's probably just a load of crap. It should come natural.
Right. Okay. So we got one question from CJ. CJ says, "What's the best way to meet someone genuine for a Valentine's date without relying on dating apps?"
The best way to meet them genuinely without
What best way to meet someone genuine for a Valentine's date without relying on dating apps?
That's a lot of people talk about spending above your means. Don't date above your means.
Oh, okay.
Definitely don't date above your means. And it goes back into, like I'm saying, let it be natural. You could say, for instance, this girl you like, right? And you guys might work together. Working together, you might see one or two things that hey, I could do this. And she would notice that or appreciate that, right? It could be as small as knowing what her favorite latte is from Starbucks.
Wow.
Something very small. It's the smallest gestures work the best because it shows that, you know what, this didn't happen from my pocket. This came from here. You know, so
Heartfelt. Okay.
genuinely, you wanted to feel that a lot was put into this, even if it's like her favorite candy. You might have had a conversation, you know what I mean, and you just get her like a favorite chocolate and leave it right down on the desk with a rose petal. You don't even need a whole rose, just
Wow.
little rose petals. Just,
Guys, you getting this, bro? Listen, this is game. He got you on a game, man.
it's the small things. I think it's the very small things. It's the absolute smallest of things.
I agree. I agree. That's powerful.
Hmm.
All right, move right along. Now, y'all heard what he said. Look around you. Pay attention. Observe. Learn how to listen. Learn how to observe and calculate and download information about a person because it ain't about just the money. It's about tailoring that gift or that experience to that particular person. All right. So that's a lot of value in that particular comment. Now, I mean, you've been married for 8 years. And, essentially, there were some things that kept you there because some people, they start marriage one year and they ready to go on. 2 years, 3 years, that's it. What would you say are some key essentials for a great relationship? I need three. Give the people three key essentials for a great relationship.
Number one, vulnerability. Number one, vulnerability. You have to be able to be completely open and honest with this.
Wow.
You have to be. A lot of people look at vulnerability and, that's a word that represents weakness, right?
Right.
But the thing is, when your weaknesses are exposed, your strengths are then heightened. So what happens is you can be a goof, and you could say to yourself, I don't want to be goofy in front of this girl. She might not go for that. And then you come off as the stifler. And she definitely doesn't go for that. You know what I mean? So it's you want to be vulnerable. First of all, you want to be open and honest and not hide your intentions. Who
Wow.
you are, so that they have the opportunity to choose rather than to be deceived. So number one, vulnerability.
Vulnerability, honesty, y'all. You hear that? That's powerful, man. If many people would lead their relationships with vulnerability and honesty, so many things could be solved right off the bat.
Yes, be who you are. Number two, I would say, whew, humility. Definitely. Like, apologize as much as
Oh man, boy, listen, apologize be so hard, man.
for the man and the woman.
Yes.
Like, it's hard for mostly hard for the woman. Like,
Oh man, tell me about it, man.
man, I don't feel like,
Ladies, we need you to apologize in 2025, please.
please. That's what makes it makes your partner feel as though you care about how they feel. You might not understand what you did wrong. You might not even know what you did wrong. But if a person is gonna express to you that they feel a way or you've made them feel a way, then open up with apology, and then maybe they would be more vulnerable with you. So I think, yeah, humility goes
Wow.
a very long way.
So we can see that based upon those two pinpoints, right? It is very important that it's all about being clear. Forget about deception, forget about hiding things. If we could just be a forefront, it makes the energy in the air much easier. It eases the tensions. Man, okay, what's the third one?
The third, I would say, you have to remove unrealistic expectations.
Oh man, please. Say that one more time.
You have to remove unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
You can't go on social media and see that this guy just bought his girl a Land Rover, and now you're gonna judge me on that. I am not him. You know what I mean? So you have and it's with the guys too. You can't expect that this girl be this Kim Kardashian of a bombshell day in and day out. So you can't have unrealistic expectations.
Wow, man. Listen, this is golden nuggets. So, number one, vulnerability and honesty. Number two,
Humility.
humility. Being able to apologize. That is the second key essential to great relationships. And three, Realistic expectations, man.
Realistic expectations.
I know for a fact that yes, we have access to Instagram, Facebook. We see people
Mhm.
living a lifestyle and beyond their wildest dreams. But listen, be realistic.
God,
If you can't afford it for yourself, why are you trying to stress the man out?
exactly.
Get that. Come on, man. And how, I guess, advice for some ladies, help a man get there. It's supposed to be teamwork.
Mhm.
It's about teamwork at the end of the day for relationships, man. Be on the same team.
Mhm.
And now a relationship is a vehicle used to get to destination. So let's make it easy, man. Follow the captain's orders.
And when you're vulnerable, you end up in a space where you know how to help each other. You know, you can't be like for the men, you can't be all macho all the time and not wanna like tell her about some things that might have gotten you down, some things that might have, you know, triggered traumatic responses within you and all these things. Like you can't just hide everything behind all this macho-ness. And then with the females, you have to be able to open up to your man about what it is that you want. Clear communication with that. That's what vulnerability does. It opens communication like to the molecular level, man.
Powerful, man. That's on a molecular and a micro level. So question. I mean, many times growing up as men, right, we were taught that hey, in order when you're dealing with women, you're supposed to treat her correctly, protect, etc. But I mean, I don't know women being told because I haven't remembered women being told anything on how to treat a man. I think we need to open up what they call it class training to teach women the essentials of how to take care of man because I don't see it in part of curriculum. I see get money, be boss, get your nails done, hair done. But where's the curriculum for the man? So please, ladies, I know some of you are classy, you develop yourself very well. Please open up a school to help some women because they don't know how. They don't have the software, they don't have the mental software, the app ain't installed in their mind. So we need to help teach women as well how to treat men and how to work along with him in a relationship and the do's and don'ts, man. Because if women and men both learn these things from young, it'll be a no-brainer. It wouldn't be challenging where you have to retrain a pet dragon. I mean, not a pet dragon, sorry, I came with my accent, but you get the point, right? Wow.
They're not doing it for real, but it's in the Bible.
Yes.
All a man wants is respect.
Yep.
I think it's and a woman of all should be able to understand that because somehow, some way, it's gotten twisted to where women want respect. I think they get it. They do get it, but it's still something that they walk around demanding that they get respect.
I blame the media. When I saw RESPCT,
Tell you what
Right.
it
means to,
And it's
I need to sing that. I need some respect. Put some respect.
for some
on it.
respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real. And that's what it is. That like how to treat a man. It's really that simple because respect is the door to the kingdom. From they've shown respect.
You'll move heaven and earth.
Yes.
I saw one video the other day.
For you.
Right. I saw a video the other day on Instagram. It's so funny because it had like 1 million likes, and this guy, this big muscular guy, he gets his hammer and it's tied onto a carriage, and he's like there swinging it, and then he's in space, he just swinging it, throw it, and then the lady hops onto the carriage, he jump on and then push him out. I mean, he went to that great extent to get them going.
Yep.
You know, it's funny because this big hammer, he just throw it, and then they go flying on the carriage through space. But it's all about respect because at the end of the day, when a man feels respected, he'll say, you know what? I want to do whatever I need to do for this woman. But when that respect goes to the window, man shut down, he'd even consider you. And I've been through it too. When I didn't feel like I was getting respect, I didn't want to do anything. And it literally stops me from performing and everything. You know, I don't want to give love to someone who ain't respecting me. Like, that's a slap in the face.
When you feel like a simp.
Boy, listen.
It's when you feel like you're a simp.
I'm sorry, clarify for the people, what is a simp? S-I-M-P. Give me a definition.
I don't really familiarize using that word, honestly, but today it's more like a good guy.
A good guy. Oh man, damn.
You know, it's what they use to categorize a good guy because good guys are like they viewed as hopeless men.
Wow.
They're viewed as hopeless men. If you respect women, you know, you treat women with chivalry and all these. They call it simping. They call you a simp.
Wow.
It's almost as though women want to be disrespected.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the mental programming happening where, through society and the years have come, the lack of accountability, holding a woman accountable from her age when she was a little girl, was allowed them to be the spoiled child. It's almost like the bully, but the bully is not as thick and big. It's just a small bully.
It's made them accept all of the derogatory terms in society.
Please, if I smash any corn, You shouldn't have any corn in the first
And
place.
we might
Stop playing. All right, we're gonna answer one more question and hit the last topic, and then we're gonna land this plane. So far, we've been flying so high, man. I'm enjoying this conversation, man. So, question. Yes. Okay. Right. Let's see which one sounds good. All right. Okay. Boom. Very powerful question. Sedna says, how can a man balance his personal life with the needs of a relationship without losing himself? Whoa.
balance his personal life
Yes.
within a relationship.
His personal life with the needs of a relationship without losing himself. Because sometimes I guess some guys will go and say, man, I gotta keep paying attention, but it's like he dropping the ball in other areas because it's main focus. When the moment it happens, and he's not able to be at that foundation mentally and physically. He can be like, hey, I got this. Hey, you gotta chill, baby. I got that. Let me just sound listen. I coming to you. You know what I mean? So how can a man do that? Does he have to set clear boundaries? Does he have to what?
Most definitely set clear boundaries. And you do that, first of all, I'm going to refer to the Bible again.
Yes.
We're going to go back to the book of Genesis.
Yes.
And in the book of Genesis, it would have you know that God had given man a certain few things before he gave him the woman.
Yes.
So it just says that as a man, that balance should already be there. In the woman,
Powerful, man.
then that's the only way you're going to get the respect that you deserve, because she's going to see a full balanced male.
Right.
And where she fit in, she's going to fit in. And you don't have to worry about losing yourself to it, because you already created a balance. It's a structure.
Your frame is strong.
Yeah.
Frame is strong with this one. Wow, man. Man, that's incredible, because I have a brand called Superman Alpha Masculine Health Development. I teach men get fit, make money, and find love.
Definitely.
And basically, I tell the man is in a game and out of game. The inner game is number one, get fit, make money, then also do at least have an apartment or a car and have a high earning skill set, because you need to maintain that for yourself before welcoming a woman in your life.
Definitely.
Because without that, some guys, they have nothing going on. They trying to get a girl and they wonder why the girl get taken from a guy who already got everything down pat.
Yeah.
And you have to try. And you have to cry. So
He didn't make his whole criteria to be balance. He didn't seek balance first. Yeah.
Powerful, man. Man, this is dynamic, man. Ladies and gentlemen, give me a thumbs up if you like this so far. Now, last and least, how can men get better results in dating and relationships
Better.
in 2025? Because the answer to that back in the 1960s was different. 2025, like, bro, like some guys even contemplating, but should I even be in a relationship, bro? Like, so how can guys get better results? What are you give them two things you could tell them?
Better results. Whew, boy. That's tough, because I think today men don't even care about the results of a relationship.
That's true.
I mean, just looking out there, from what I've observed. But one, you got to be intentional. You have to be intentional. You can't be a go with the flow kind of guy, or let me see where this goes. We the leaders.
That's mess around, find out.
That definitely is. You're gonna mess around and you're gonna find out. So you got to be intentional. You have to be 100% intentional, and you got to know that your word is your bond. A lot of guys today, they talk a good game. They say we got sugar on our tongue. You know what I mean? And we know that the women like to be treated a certain way, so we're gonna say anything.
Definitely.
It happens too often. Like, we're gonna say anything. And one thing a woman does do, she holds you accountable. Holds you accountable. And so, be intentional, be a man of your word, and be reliable. Like, first of all, you know what I mean? You gotta be reliable, first of all. You can't just be the guy that wants the girl. It should more than likely, for me, I think it should be the other way around.
Wow.
Because for a man, you're supposed to want what God wants for you.
Boom. Purpose, vision. Man, find your vision. You should not be dating unless you have a clear vision for your life and you know who you are and where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's the only way you can be intentional, because you're not going to allow someone to come and derail your path if you know where your purpose is carrying you. So you most definitely got to have a purpose and a vision.
Wow.
and you can be intentional. And then being a man of your word ties into it as well, because you're not gonna break your own word. That's gonna destroy your own life,
That's true.
you know. And a woman is designed to follow suit. When she meets a leader, she's designed to follow suit. Now I don't know what's happening in this generation. They kind of leaning to the left.
They're a little weaky. They say,
Yeah.
but they say the soft era.
It's a soft
So,
white drizzle left.
boy, listen.
I don't know what's going on with that, you know.
Oh man.
But realistically, it's been brought on by what's accepted in society.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Everybody is just on this catch and release run right now. So as a man, you gotta just you gotta rise above that. One of the
Man, ladies and gentlemen, man, give it a hand clap. Wherever you are watching this, give a hand clap for this amazing segment, man. Listen, Mr. James, it's the man. Listen, phenomenal, man. Hey, laugh on that, man.
most
Hey,
definitely.
man, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into the first edition of the Meet Me 360 podcast. James, let them know where they can find you, man.
You can find me on social media, Skin Deep Body Art. That's SDBA_INT on Instagram. On Facebook, TF14, the word 14, not the name. I mean, not the number.
Right.
And you write it out. You don't spell it FAWT either. It's FOURTEEN. Because you know how we be go 14.
14, right.
Before we break that, I wanted to tell you about one of the methods that I've developed.
Let's hear it, man. Listen, this is the bonus. So, man, listen up.
Peep game. I like to call it the 11th guy.
The 11 guy.
Yeah, I tried it. Like, you familiar with the book, right? You've read the book. I've
Yes.
read that book like 7-8 times, man. Yes.
I read it once, man.
Fresh myself on it like every other year. So the 11th guy, it's pretty straightforward, you know. You walk into a bar and there's just one beautiful lady and there's 10 guys around. One's trying to light her cigarette, one's trying to offer her a cigarette, one's buying her a drink, one's complimenting her, and so on, right? All 10 of these guys are just gawking for her attention. And here comes you, casually strolling, have your drink. You maybe strike a charismatic conversation with the bartender,
Right.
and you just fill the room with your energy. What happens is she now wants to know what's up with that guy, because she already knows the intentions of all 10 guys. So now you've become the person of interest.
Wow.
And it takes very little effort for you to secure rather than the other guys that are gawking.
So based upon what you're saying, you're thinking that the way to be able to attract women is to do the opposite of what most guys do. Do the opposite of what 80% of the guys would do.
Most definitely. You have to put yourself at the top percentage. You can't buy into all of that. Like they say, mind the noise in the market.
Right.
You can't really do that because you're just like everybody else at that point.
Right.
You don't really have value outside of wanting her, you know. So when you become the 11th guy, it's now you're outside of the dynamic that she's used to, and that's how you're gonna keep her attention.
And that was literally introduces the chase method. Because for instance, women are said to be similar to what we call the feline or the cat.
Mhm.
You know, when you look at a cat, you try to get to the cat run, but you just sit and relax and mind your own business.
Yes, cats like the stillness.
Signals.
Mhm.
Bro, I would like to have you back. We're gonna talk about the next time how to improve your game with men if it permits, man. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you, James, for being here, man. Y'all stay inspired. Let's make better, more meaningful, deeper relationships. Y'all enjoy.
Most definitely.